When was I playing? Like yesterday?
Yeah, because
Or
that's when the
Thursday.
game.
I guess I played on Thursday. Yeah, I played Corn. It was fun.
Yeah, the first fucking act of the game is basically a general life in a homunculus coven.
Oh god.
Which game is this?
Scorn. It got released like yesterday, and it's on.
Oh, Scorn! I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I just downloaded it. I haven't played it.
It's body horror puzzle shooter, the game.
It's like an HR. It's like an HR Geiger first-person puzzle game with like some shooting,
Yeah, there is some combat. Yeah.
but it's mostly like a HR Geiger puzzle game.
I understand. Okay.
I mean, I will say a few things about the game that it really makes you feel like you're an alien environment, especially at the start.
I mean, I just played Kill All Humans.
Honestly.
God damn it! Why did
Oh
somebody
yeah,
have to
posting
post
something memes that reminds me
They posted fucking orc cubes.
Oh god.
It's just like a bunch of fucking cubes.
What did they post?
I mean, Trisky posted it.
Just look
so
at me.
This is all on
It's a
him.
joke. It's not too bad.
minutes or so, but like then they have to like sit through like the 5 minute like opening screen, and then our like opening like BS, and then
Gotta be short.
we get into the recap.
Last time on Dragon Ball Z, you got a short but engaging.
So you're telling me it'd be like every other YouTube video out there?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, hey, we're live. I don't have a timer anymore for this thing. So, hello, everyone. I am Trisky. I run this dumb channel that is full of scuff and broken things, and you could hear us for a brief time during the intro because Steam Deck didn't mute the right sources properly because they got renamed, and Steam Deck freaked out. So, hello. Welcome back. Can somebody else do the summary because I am losing my head?
I wasn't here last time, so I'll leave it to someone else.
Yeah. So let's introduce the characters real quick. We've got Reaper Joe playing the Rogue Trader Holtz.
Hey, that's me. I might not even be in this episode.
You'll be in this episode.
I feel like the first thing we do with finishing up should be a bit shorter, but yeah, we'll see.
We've got Miris playing Sator Eycanse.
Yep.
We've got Krona the Harlequin playing Saphar Shaitaneese.
Yay.
Incidentally, also Harlequin.
And we've got the incredible Trisky playing Gizmek Gear-Turnah.
Oi.
The orc mech whose throat's not feeling so good today.
Oi, said it.
Oh god.
Yo, same, but to a lesser extent.
Yeah. So the story so far is Holtz is on the dark side of the Imperium during the
incident.
The incident, right? The nebula that's cut the galaxy in half during the Indominus period, which I can't remember off the top of my head for some reason. And they've been going to all these different planets because their ship is able to travel the warp when no one else is basically. But they've been following this like other force that's also been able to travel through the warp, and they've been picking up clues along the way. And they finally met the admiral of at Karsoka, who was fighting a big war there. It seems he's gone mad with tech heresy and has merged himself with like a Catan in the like ultraviolet stars of Karsoka. And in doing so, he's able to basically like form himself any place where the light of Karsoka touches. To deal with this threat, Holtz has sent Saphar and Sator's companion, Ira, the Dark Eldar, to go into the webway and to try and tell the Dark Eldar what's going on, so they come and deal with it. So they went to Saphar Shaitaneese's mother's spire in the webway, and all sorts of crazy shit happened. I'll get into more detail of that in a second. Meanwhile, Holtz is on his way somewhere to try and basically lure the World Eater's commander to that system as well. And hopefully there's like a three-way battle between the Necrons, or a four-way battle between the Necrons, the Imperial Guard Admiral, the Dark Eldar, and the World Eaters, and hopefully the Blackstone survives the whole ordeal. That's the current plan.
Yep.
So in the Spire, Saphar and Ira were subjected / injected with the power from pain, and the just the sheer amount of negative energy flowing, like infusing them with power. So far, Saphar has managed to shake off the corruption.
By save rolls.
But he's loaded with power right now. You're at like plus like 4, like +4 to all your attributes or something.
Yeah.
Well, Ira is at +6.
Yeah, Ira's at like +6 to all of her attributes.
Uh,
And yeah, you told your mother about the Catan, and she's gonna meet you at dinner apparently to go over details. Meanwhile, Gizmek got an interesting visitor at the end of last session in the form of a scarab from the Necron lore. And it like morphed his like device for scanning materials into a set of like VR goggles that when he put them on showed him like Necron technology blueprint. So he has access to like some Necron technology. And then also the Scarab had like some of that green energy that the Necrons use. So he's got like a small power source to make some of this technology.
Ooh.
And I believe that's the full rundown. So we should start the session on the bridge of the Blackstone. You're in the warp, so you've got like the windows closed in your meeting room.
are we heading back to Jackal, or are we trying to go straight up to where we might think the World Eaters could be, to where they left off towards last time?
I think so. Like, I think we're heading to back to the Gilead system, specifically because like we could try and like triangulate where the World Eaters left from like where they led to the Lagrange point when we've last encountered them, and like triangulating their location from there. But like that's a risky business, and like there's other things to discuss with Veronis, because he's gonna want to know like what happened, and I'm gonna be like, nothing happened, we never left. Also, you should never say that word ever again. Yada yada yada, and then also like leave immediately after. But like,
and we'll also need to pick up Ira and the Chrono somewhere, and that's probably the safest.
Yeah, I mean, assuming like that. Well, it will take like warp travel takes forever. So like by the time we get to Gilead, we should be able to pick them up, I guess.
Yeah. At the same time, we don't have any. I have some idea on how time in the warp works compared to real time, but I have no idea on how it works compared to on how normal time works compared to the webway. Yeah.
I mean, it works however we want it to work. So we can have the timing happen however we want it to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Specifically, however you want it to happen.
Yeah.
In canon sense, when it comes to the webway, generally speaking, the timing is normal, except in a few very specific areas that the Eldar themselves tend to avoid, where it can shoot you forward in time, or time stands still, or even flows backwards. Like inside the Black Library itself, time is really messed up in there. Like some guy was imprisoned in there for a while, an Inquisitor, and he actually got significantly younger during that time of imprisonment.
Damn.
It's got like a Merlin vibe to it. Time moves backward. Yeah. Cool. So our first scene is probably going to be like Gizmek and Holtz and Sator in the dining room, talking about plans. What's going on? Also, Gizmek might want to tell everybody that he has like Necron plans. So we'll have that scene right here.
I mean, so Holtz is probably like gathered this meeting, and there's probably like also like I think he also brings like the tech priest and probably like the absolvers started in there too.
Yeah, so we got Absolver, we got Infector Brahm, and we've got Bitbug. Bitbug is like currently like salivating, just like looking over Brahm's armor. And like his like mouth is like bubbling up a little. So he's just gonna be in the background, just like, you know, eyes out of his sockets looking at him.
Jesus.
All right, so just so we're going over the plan, I know I came up with it, but like let's reiterate what it is. Our plan is to go find the World Eaters stronghold and get them to go to Karsoka. Yes.
Yeah, piss him off.
I mean, I could definitely do that part, and I could definitely get them to chase me. But like, it just sounds really stupid, and like part of me wants to throttle the guy that came up with it. But I was the person that came up with it, so
I didn't know you were into that kind of stuff, Holtz.
Oh my god.
You'd be surprised what
Moving along.
like. Anyways, on another note, Sergeant Brahm, put yourselves in the traitor guardsman's shoes. What do you think their next step would be once they realize that they have not one but two, but potentially three different factions on their front doorstep trying to stop their assaults?
Well, based upon the vid you just showed of the man teleporting around this room, he seemed disconnected to this reality. And so I think that he thinks that he's invulnerable. So I don't know if he'll care, honestly.
That would be a comfort if he did that, but I'm afraid that they'll try and find more ships to gather reinforcements.
Men can become drunk with power. This man is blasted with power.
Oh,
I do not think he'll see any threat as a real threat, honestly. To be so far gone from this reality, to be able to become the light of a star, is beyond my understanding of the human psyche. The fact that he even has personality at all left is incredible.
I'll take that into account. Still, I am concerned about I have some concern about the remaining navigators that are currently independent. As we've all seen before, to view this dark astronomicon requires a substantial surgery to the navigator. One that potentially robs him of, his mind.
They're limited humanity, I'm sure.
Yes.
Sator, he looks at you when he says that with a little bit of sadness in his voice.
Sator just seems as neutral as ever, pretty much.
I mean, you're used to people talking about you while you're present.
Yeah.
It's okay, son. We still love you. Not really.
And I'm a little concerned that if word gets out that there is a method to travel through the warp via the surgery, that more people will start demanding for it. Maybe not through direct influence of the Admiral, or what's left of the Admiral, but through their own ambition. Lord knows any rogue trader worth his salt will see the value of free travel through the warp again.
Well, having met the men of the Navy, their world is basically their superiors and their, the people under them. So they probably don't even know what's going on.
Most of the common soldiers probably don't, but the concern is the captains. All it takes is the right people in the wrong place for things to go wrong. And I'm not saying, obviously this is technically a secondary priority, but something to consider. But I propose that Perhaps we should organize the remaining navigators under a single house on this side of the Imperium. Sator.
Yeah, Brahm just sort of like shrugs and says, if that's what you think is best.
Sator, how do you feel about getting married?
Oh my god.
Holtz, I didn't.
He doesn't feel like that about you, you know?
At the same time, Sator is assuming that it's going to be a political marriage already.
Oh, it's absolutely going to be political.
Yeah.
But it's like, jokes aside, I was thinking of having you be the head of a house of navigators, and your bride could be the lucky lady from Veronis's ship. I'm sure she's been wanting to get her eyes on the warp drive of the Blackstone. Of course, I can't really force you.
Sator will mention that the first problem would be actually seeing if we can find any navigators, but
Varonis has a number of ships under his command, and all of them had navigators. It's just they can't see into the warp right now.
Navigators that aren't in her house, or navigators that don't like her rules and all of that.
Oh, you'd be making your own rules. You'd be the new head of the new house.
Yeah. So the thing would be first potentially finding some navigators which aren't in her house for one reason or another, and then maybe trying to get some that really dislike the traditions and rules of her house specifically.
Well, I'll let you gather.
I think that Holtz's plan is to have you like basically merge houses with her.
Yeah.
And take control of her house.
I mean, that's definitely the long-term plan, but we first need to set up a house first. We need to set up a house first. But yeah.
I mean, that can be arranged. Just say the word and I can put out contacts to see if I can gather those types of navigators under your banner.
If you need a little house, I could get some scrap metal and build one in the warehouse for you.
You build a navigator?
A house? What are you talking about?
I'm sorry. I think I just woke up. Anyways.
Jesus, almost like you're as tired as I am.
Sator is now just imagining Gizmek building a navigator, and he's slightly horrified.
I'm laughing my ass off over here. Like, no, a house. We're gonna build you a house.
Okay.
I was literally just thinking of like Gizmek building like a little shack out of scrap metal in the fucking.
This needs to be a short
If you
you
wanted
post.
moments to clip for TikTok, there's one.
Yep.
That's very funny. That's a good.
Anyways.
Oh my god. Let's see what else.
O'Hara mark.
The next bit of the issue is how much should we explain of what's happening? Obviously, like nodding to Invictus Brahms, like we can't keep the absolvers out of this. But the common civilian population, I mean, there's no doubt that we'll have to put a gag order on this. It's to the point that I don't even know if we should tell Veronis everything.
You'll definitely question your methods, having released the Overlord from your wall, and he like gestures to the wall where the Overlord's.
Well, in my defense, I didn't know it was an Overlord, so we can cop that to a lucky coincidence.
If I haven't had all these meetings with you and gone on missions with you and so forth, I would have been questioning your judgment on that release. But
he was a pretty nice guy. He was for Bonehead.
Did you just call a Necron Overlord a nice guy?
Hey, you gave me this. I just hold up the power cell.
Is that one of their energy sources?
Brahms'
Yeah,
eyes
he also
like
gave me a bunch of
like,
schematics and stuff.
Brahms' eyes like almost pop out of his head when he sees them.
Holtz also has his eyes pop out of his head, but then starts giggling.
And Bitbug like starts screaming in binary.
I can hear every word you say. You just keep forgetting how I can understand that grunt. Now shut up!
The amount of fucking heresy that happens on this ship.
I know.
Well, I'm planning to make something real nice today. I'm gonna make a nice suit of armor.
I didn't even start my real heresy yet.
Brahm just like face palms and he says, "So we're going to use Xenos heresy to defeat the Xenos Heretic."
No. Sergeant Brom, Gizmek is going to do whatever, and we're just going to point it at the enemy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's about how it works around here. Welcome to the ship. Glad you joined us.
Anyways, Bitbug, you've studied the warp core for some time. Any chance that you could potentially recreate it?
If you don't mind, Sator would make a joke at Brom. If you believe me, this isn't the worst decision we've made.
He's like Bitbug has got like his like multiple arms like clinking together his fingertips as he's like looking at the Necron energy and like, you know, he's freaking out. He like barely shifts his attention and he says, "It's made out of some material that isn't part of the known Imperium. I couldn't recreate it if I tried."
I'm keeping the energy thing. If you do me some favors, I'll give you some of the schematics he gave me. Deal? Good.
Like he like whirs and turns his attention back to Holt.
So
if we can get some more of that crystal somehow, then perhaps I could shape it into the same form as the artifact.
So we have to find this. So we have to find more of this crystal then.
Which will be difficult considering it was found in a Blackstone fortress thousands of years ago.
Okay. Wow. At least we have a lead. That's something. Keep that.
To be honest, knowing our luck with the Blackstone stuff, we're just going to stumble upon one next week.
Gizmek does have a point, but for now, Bitbug, we should probably keep that information to ourselves. As much as I'd like to, as much as I'd like to spread rumors that we can recreate warp travel systems, I don't think spreading it right now is in our best interests.
I doubt anyone in this quadrant has the material we're looking for, but if they do, then it'd be in our best interest to have more loyalist ships of the fleet.
I agree. Until then,
go ahead.
Until then, we should probably. I'd like to see. You should probably develop some sort of schematics to see to outline how would we recreate this warp engine. It doesn't have to be complete; it just needs to be detailed enough that we can start the process once we get the proper materials. Yeah.
I want to mention like two things. That one is that there is a technology which basically allows warp travel without navigators and all of that, but like navigator houses normally go out of their way to destroy any mention of it and the technology itself for obvious reasons.
Do you say that out loud?
No, I'm saying this out of character.
I was about to say, it's like, are you saying that in character? Like, that's a huge deal.
Sator would never mention that in character.
Okay.
Well, Shane, I
Yeah,
just
the
thought I
Sator's
heard
just-
something in the back
Sator's
of
just
my
like-
mind. Yeah, whatever.
So Sator's just like sitting there with the solution, but he's like honor bound, swore bound to never mention it ever outside
At
of
the same
navigator
time,
houses.
At the same time, it's like that technology is pretty rare because it's like it is
Oh, it's
actively
been-
destroyed by navigators.
It's being
Yeah, it's
hunted
been
down and
actively getting
destroyed.
It's
snuffed
like
out.
if we ever found something like that, Sator might recognize it, and in this situation, it could be useful, but we probably just keep it for ourselves as like a secret or a valuable thing, maybe. We'll see. And also, I want to ask, would it make any difference if Sator, as like back on the Kronos, on the system, on Jackal system, to get like a chemist set ready, or do the Clan Ashers already have like more than enough
They got
for a drug lab?
Ton of that. set
Oh
up
yeah,
more likely than not.
they've got a whole thing going on. They've been making you like gas grenades up the
Yeah, I
wazoo.
just wanted to double check that.
Yeah.
Real quick,
So that
If you,
when
need,
real
if,
quick
you need,
note.
if you need anything, we could do that in downtime. You could like roll a leadership check
Yeah.
or whatever and have that be.
Real
Yeah.
quick note I would like to make. I'm not sure how much your honor bound everything holds up against the fact that Holtz owns your soul.
I mean, yeah, technically I do own your soul, but like I wouldn't know about like any like extra like as far as Holtz knows, the
Yeah.
only way to navigate the warp is with a navigator.
Yeah. At the
So I don't
same
even
time,
think
at the same time, this is like the thing which is like mentioning it would only possibly create trouble because someone random finds it. Now they can go through the warp without any problems.
exactly. Like if anyone else
Meanwhile-
finds, yeah,
Meanwhile, it's like, hey, we found this weird thing. Any clue what it is? Oh, it's Xeno Heresy. Please hand it over to us so that we can safely destroy it.
And
So,
also, we're
you know.
purging you.
Yeah.
Alright.
Anyways,
Okay, so we're
yeah.
gonna like diagonal wipe to Saphar, who is currently in a Dark Eldar spire in the webway.
yeah.
Just like
Him and,
hanging out in a room set aside for him.
Is it going to be so that Saphar and Ira both get to talk, or mostly Saphar because he's a player?
Ira could do whatever. She can
Yeah.
talk if you want. You can play her.
If you want to, I mean, I have some, first the homunculus thing, and then I have a really bad idea of seeing if they could, how much information they have on the general worlds and all of that, and if we could get any Drukhari gear or such for that information.
Yeah.
I mean, she'd be willing to trade for stuff. Like she's a wheeler and a dealer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. But first, Chrono,
We did-
because, yeah.
It depends on like what kind of information we have that she would want. But
This planet is useless. Don't even bother going to it unless you want to capture its sun.
oh god. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm alone in this room. The first thing I'm gonna do is scan every single inch of it as best as I can for listening devices.
Yeah, you only find like a dozen or so listening devices planted in
Okay, so
every
they're not really taking
possible
this too
part.
seriously.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
going
it's
light on
like
this, I see.
Yeah, it's likely less than Holtz has them.
God.
Honestly,
I see all the listening devices. They're not taking me seriously.
Yeah, it seems like Drushtada's focus is on Ira.
Yeah. Rather than the clown that's basically walked in.
Yeah. How does Saphar feel about that?
Actually pretty glad. Obviously there's that little bit of, that petulant sort of, I'm important too. But more than anything, he's actually glad that the focus is not on him, especially since he's trying to not give away who he is.
Right. So there is a little bit of that, impetus. Petulance, yeah.
It's
Going
not
on
enough
in
to
his
like
mind.
manifest in anything or like interfere with anything.
Well, normally that would be true, but it's a negative emotion when you're like infused with negative emotions.
Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
So I'm gonna need you to make a corruption test.
You will be corrupted.
Remember that you have +4 to all
It's
of
not
your
going to be
stats.
hard. It's going to be pretty easy. It's only going to be difficulty 4, but you're rolling 7 dice.
Yeah.
It's
Now you-
I wrote conviction, right?
Yeah.
Conviction corruption.
Difficulty 4 with a dice pool of 7.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. No problem.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you have that sort of like that negative feeling, right? Like she's not taking me seriously. There's only a dozen listening devices in this room, and you like pout for a moment, and then you realize how stupid that is, and that like you're trying to be undercover.
Yeah, like wait, this is a good thing.
And you shake it out, but like yeah, like that feeling is much stronger than you're normally used to. So you notice that like your like negative emotions are like rising, like bubbling to the surface significantly more than
Yeah. This place is not good for my chakras.
Yeah.
I don't vibe with this place.
Yeah, and so like the room is very nicely like decorated. It's got like a closet full of it's got a closet like full of Harlequin cloaks.
Really?
Yeah.
It just provided me. Okay.
And like it's got like a little like section for like it's got like 4 different types of flip belts with like from like different Harlequin subfactions.
My first thought is, oh, that's pretty cool. And then my second thought is, how the fuck did she get these? And how has she been hoarding these?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Harlequins don't just... One, Harlequins get these custom made. Even how they get them made is a secret. And 2, no Harlequin's just going to give it up or trade it. I'm like, oh god, these are murder trophies.
Yep.
These are kill trophies.
So she's obviously showing off to you by having this in your room just random.
I just realized, I'm like, this is not a gift or like a wardrobe. This is a threat. This is a thinly veiled threat.
It's a show of power.
Oh god.
I mean, I also started reading Path of the Dark Eldar, and for an Archon, this is a pretty light show of power, or subtle, I should say.
It's not long before the like major domo comes back to your room and like knocks on the door and like informs you that you're expected for dinner.
By the way, were there any like windows or anything in that room? Like,
yeah, there's a window, but it overlooks it overlooks like a black hole or something, or like a dark star or something. It overlooks something very fascinating. All the windows you've seen overlook like a different like celestial object.
Yeah. Like I've basically more or less come to grips with the idea that the only way out of here is probably going to be the only pathway out of here is going to be the way I came in through. Like if I need to escape, I'm probably going to have to rush out the way I came in, because they're not going to leave unattended secret passages where they can be snug up on. Like
yeah.
that's like
or they'll have like fake secret passages that will like trap you in them.
Mm-hmm. Like they'll have like hallways with like trap doors that lead to giant pits of acid. Like if you read the Mask of Vile, it's in there.
Yeah, totally. And then there was like remember like the there was like the prison underneath the arena, but like you don't know if it's like the floor below or if it's in another dimension or if it's like like everything is kind of fucky in this spot.
Yeah, like you can't really trust where anything will lead. So if I just try to like rush through a door or jump through a window, that'll be taking like the biggest gamble possible. So
yeah, we'll roll for crazy random shit when you do
god, you're gonna throw me into the middle of a fucking supernova. I fall in and like I know how to solve all this. I fall in and then I'm in the middle of the Horus Heresy.
Oh god, you're going to need to be You're going to be in the middle of a sun.
It's like Chrono's side campaign, him 10,000 years ago.
Side campaign. I have to avert the siege of Kolf.
Oh god.
All right, so
thoroughly unnerved, I decide to follow him.
Okay, so he grabs Ira as well. So the two of you go back into that weird elevator that seems to not move, but then move whenever the doors open and close. and it opens up onto like a huge dining room with like huge paintings on the walls of like various different maybe archons that used to live in this spire. You're not sure, but they're definitely like archons in the painting.
Mm-hmm.
And
There's like a vague like apparition of like negative energy out of these paintings.
Mm-hmm.
And you realize that like they're like made out of skin.
Oh god.
And you're not sure if it's like someone else's skin, if it's these past Archon skin made into painting. There's something going on with that.
That's what I call a leather interior.
Yeah, the chandeliers have like slaves like draped over them, like hanging from their wrists. And it's a very like well, stocked table covered in all sorts of random foods from random places. There's a lot of like Dark Eldar warriors and at the head of the table a couple of warriors that don't look as like melty as the other ones. And then Drush Tada has got like a huge like throne-like chair at the head of the table. And then there's like the two chairs next to her like set up for the two of you.
I see.
And the major domo just like pulls you like he announces your presence and like states the names that you gave. He's like Ira the Trueborn and the Harlequin. And everyone's like, ooh, and then everyone's like looking over and like a couple of people are clapping.
Ooh, ah.
The Harlequin himself.
It's my name, Quinn Harvey. Yes.
Yeah, and so yeah, you're seated next to her.
Are both chairs on either side of her, or are they like both on the same side?
They're both on the same side, and like the major domo like directs Ira to the closest chair to her.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm gonna take the chair that's further away.
Ira was already taking the closer one anyways, likely.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And yeah, everyone at this dining room table is like flush with energy, right? Like everyone's like. Everyone's like still full from that like performance in the arena just a moment ago.
Yeah, like that's the thing. It's like food is one thing, but it's also like pain is also very much like a physical sustenance. So what kind of food is this? Is this like a heavy meal, or is it just like a bunch of amuse-bouche or something?
It's like some light stuff and like some of that super spiced wine that you had before.
I'm staring directly clear of the wine, and I'm just kind of focusing. Like, I'm trying to shut out and ignore all the horrific stuff, like the slaves on top or the skin paintings. Like, because I've come to the realization that the longer I stay here, the more corrupting the influence is on myself.
Yeah, and there's something about like your mom being like right next to you.
A little bit uncomfortable. I did run away from home. And
how much power she's like accumulated in that like quote unquote short time in an Eldar.
Yeah.
You also don't even want to mention what happened in the arena.
Oh god. Just that's one for therapy. Like unironically, that is one for therapy.
Right off trauma.
Literal trauma. Just black hole that into repress. And
god.
What's it called? But the trick for this sort of thing is if you want to block out what's going on around you at like a table or something or at an unpleasant situation, you focus on a very specific dish and just consider everything that could possibly be in it. Sort of essentially dissect every piece of food with your mind. And that's not just a shutout tactic here. I'm also trying to deduce what will be the least corrupting.
Yeah. In like the center of the table along the whole thing, all the way to the end, there's like little mini holograms, and it looks like it's like holograms of like some of the prisoners in the cells.
Yeah.
And like right in front of you is like the Space Marine in his cell, like weeping.
Oh no.
I can't believe I passed that roll. But But yeah, I don't dwell too long on them, but my eyes definitely scan over each hologram, taking note of all the different species and individuals that are there and what their reactions are like.
Oh yeah, she's got like a who's who of like crazy, close combat combatants, right?
Ooh.
She's got like a Kroot in one cell. She's got like it looks like a world leader in a cell. She's got the Space Marine in a cell. She's got like, you name it.
And again, that thought sort of creeps in, like, how the fuck did she get her hands on all of these? Like, where did you get a world eater?
I mean, they're all over the place right now, so that's not too difficult.
That world eater.
Yeah, so like, after eating for a while, Drishtada looks over at Ira and says, so down to business. And she like claps her hands a little bit, and like everyone else just leaves. So you're just like, it's just the three of you in this room now.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, could I leave with them?
Yeah, if you try to stand up, like she like looks at you and says, "No, not you."
Idiot.
I feel like you shouldn't even. I feel like you wouldn't actually try that because you would be.
No.
Yeah.
Because it's obvious, and that would just be yeah.
Now you say that one of the Mon Ki have injected themselves into a Catan.
Indeed. He's been messing so much already that the tomb world where the portal.
This is the one. This is the one shackled in the system they call Karsoka, correct?
Correct.
Indeed.
Oh, good. I thought there was another Catan out there. And she like laughs at her own joke.
Oh God. I cringe at the mom joke.
Ira chuckles along and mentioned that he's been messing so much with the Catan already that the Necrons on the planet which contains the webway they used to get here already started waking up, but they did manage to at least turn it off before they, got into the webway proper.
I go on to explain as curtly and briefly as possible in that embarrassing raspy ass voice. He is consumed by the power. He blinks in and out of existence, and his influence grows amongst his Mon Kai brethren.
I need you both to make a check for me.
Yeah, what up?
I'm looking up the skill roll.
Okay.
It would be an insight check. Whatever at your new fellowship. Ira's fellowship is currently
it's at least
like 9, and she's got 2 insights, so she's rolling like 11 dice.
Yeah, I was going to say that was going to be at least like 10 dice because she's a Drukhari too, so she would be.
Mine is like 1 right now.
Well, no, it's plus 6, so you're at 7 insight.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
No, it's plus 4 for you because.
Plus 4.
Yeah.
So you're at 5 insight.
So 5 dice.
Yeah, so you'll have 5 dice, and you don't have any skill points into insight, right?
I don't think so. What difficulty number?
It's going to be 6 for both of you.
Okay.
I need to manually read. 3 6s, 3 4s. Yeah.
Yeah, she
probably. Yeah, probably get 1 glory with a shift.
Yes.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, you got 9 successes.
Yeah. So Ira notices this, but Saphar doesn't. When you mention that there's a new like faction of Necrons that are waking up, like her smile like just very slightly like vibrate, and you can tell that bothers.
By the way,
I would notice
Ira got a crit. Her last die was a 6.
I see.
So you should have an extra glory.
Right.
Yeah.
So you get 2 glory.
I got like 3 successes, 2 failures.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't notice this like change in her demeanor. It's very slight. She's got firm control over her like emotion.
Yeah.
But Ira
sees this as a potentially good thing because it might allow her to take control of the conversation if she needs to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so Drusilla says, like, go on, continue. What do you need of me? If the Necrons are handling it.
Looking to get into business is saying, allow the Necrons to seize control of this sector and use it to spread their metallic evil throughout the stars and webway. No, this cannot be allowed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Basically saying, the Necrons might take care of themselves, but we can't let them just take over the system.
If they take over the system, they will just fuck over the eighth wheel, is what Eldar called reality.
And she's not gonna be able to take prisoners anymore if everyone gets murdered by the Necrons. So that makes sense.
Yeah. I would mention that your influence in the region may be pushed back.
Ira would continue to mention that the main thing is that if the Necrons take over the Catan, they would, use it as a power source to continue their conquest.
So your plan to deal with this problem is to unleash my forces and the Necrons, and against this Catan.
Ira is going to next mention that the main thing about the Catan is that the guy is stealing psychers with his with the Blackstone ships. So as long as she destroys the ship, the Catan itself will get weaker, in turn potentially weakening the Necrons in the long term too.
Yeah.
Well, that wouldn't weaken the Necrons in the long term, as they'll reawaken to their full strength, I'm sure. The question is, will their battle against the Catan weaken them enough that we can deliver the finishing blow and then take control of the system again? You two have been quite busy ruining my long-term plan.
Oh, did they mention that they were the ones who woke up the Necrons?
No, no.
And I don't think we will. Like we don't go about that.
It seems like she's like taken your statement as like you were like. I mean, how else would you know that the Necrons are being reawakened if you didn't have some part in it?
I mean,
and then how did you come about this information? I know you came through the webway gate from that system.
The eyes of the laughing god see all and whisper humors unto us in his own way.
She just like rolls her eyes.
I'm trying to essentially bullshit. A little bird told me, like.
Yeah, she just rolls her eyes like, fine, keep your secret.
Keep your secret.
And she says, well.
I do want to mention out of character, would it be, I don't think that would be a horrible idea for Ira herself to mention that, if she mentioned that she is on a rogue trader ship, she would paint it in the way that, she's just having everyone around her finger. Or something like that.
Yeah, she wants to feel like she's in control, right? Of the situation.
Or at,
so you've given her some valuable intelligence, right? Because she probably didn't know the Necrons were waking up. So now she's got to form up ranks, like get everybody in their raiders or whatever, prepare to strike out at them while they're weakened, like after the fight. But it seems like she's not going to help against the Catan. She's only going to help destroy the Necrons after they fight the Catan themselves.
Which is good enough for our purposes. Like, they're going to get dragged into a wider conflict when the World Eaters show up. Like, it's good enough as long as we get them in the door.
Yeah.
I mean, what he's saying is that, she's going to have them, sit in the webway and, wait for, the fight to happen. So basically,
That's annoying.
Like it's literally like if the world eaters show up and they're not are actively engaged, and they're just gonna ignore the entire thing and just never like they're going like
they're doing Dark Eldar things. They're being smart.
At the same time, fucking, they are world eaters. Fucking core might decide, no, you're going to be stuck in the warp until actual things that can bleed start being in the system.
So like if I were trying to get them to like actively participate, I would say that like the psychers of the Black Ship would make a very valuable like source of energy for them, since they're being like bussed in by literal shipload.
Yeah, I do remember that there is like a thing Drukhari use where they just store the fucking torture screams of Psyker in it or something like that. And when they release it, it just makes Psykers go crazy.
Like it's literally every Psyker in the system and like beyond. Like that's a valuable carrot for them to like risk it for them, I think.
I have seen these ships moving about. And so you're saying that they're full of psychers willing to be sacrificed?
The thing is that the big word here is willingly, which is actually bad because they don't want them to I'm pretty sure that the Drukhari do want every slave to hold to a shred of hope so that the dark energy they release is all the sweeter.
Well, I think because here's the thing: these psychers want to die, but they want to die for like the Emperor, and that reason they don't want to be kept alive.
Well, we don't know anything about these psychers. Like they're just as far as we know, they're just psychers. Like they've been kept in prisons, and like they've been like taken on the Black Ship because like the rest of the galaxy or the rest of the Gilead system assumed that they were like legit Black Ships.
I see.
I'm pretty sure that most psychers are taken kicking and screaming.
Yeah, pretty much. They definitely want to live. Though you could also argue that like the rest of the galaxy would be willing to do you a favor for taking them away from the heretics' hands, and like not sacrificing them. So like you could probably like leverage them for like favors from like the Imperial side.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, there's also the Golden Throne thing that the Drukhari did once, so they'll probably be all for manipulating.
Side character thing here. I'm getting continually annoyed with the fact that Dushtara is doing the Drukhari bullshit of beating around the bush and trying to get an upper hand on us, trying to, sucker out a better deal or just obfuscating. Like, it's just getting on my nerves at this point, and I want to just yell, just go and do something good for once in your life.
I mean, did you make me a conviction test?
Yeah. I had a feeling.
Let's say difficulty 6, because this is a strong negative emotion that's bubbling to the surface.
Difficulty 6, how many dice?
7 again. You're still at the same before. Right. Okay, do you want to spend a
glory? You have 2 glory.
Well, not glory. Do you want to spend a fate point?
Okay. Also, make sure that you didn't actually get corruption, because I don't think that you're actually meant to from this roll.
What?
No, you are. He is getting corruption, but it's like Eldar corruption. It's different than like chaos corruption.
Yeah.
Gain 3 corruption, 1 ruin added. Oh god.
Yeah. Do you want to re-roll that with a wrath point, or do you want to keep that as it is?
What would happen with 3 corruption?
I mean, nothing.
You're still at. Once you get to 5, you'll probably get something.
I'm at 1 already, and then
so you'll be at 4, so you'll be fine. It's just you're gonna like have a little outburst.
You're getting a lot because it's like you won't be commonly sended into fucking Archon spires.
Yeah.
So
it's okay to have a little outburst,
Yeah, but I feel like we're reaching a stalemate here. Marius and I are running in circles trying to figure out what to do, so I feel like fuck it.
So,
Off into the wind. I have my outburst.
Okay, so take 3 corruption. You're at 4 now. And this strong negative emotion like comes bubbling forth, and you just like start unleashing on her. So go ahead.
I spring up to the point where my chair actually almost falls backward, like it tips backward, but comes back up, and I whack my palms on the table and say, I start cursing in Eldar, Kane's crotch woman. Can you do nothing good? Can you not show out for the rest of the galaxy once? Does the fate of your race not matter to you? If nothing else, at least you'll be securing your own position.
She like smiles and looks over at you, and she goes, Finally you come out with it.
I was probably eating like an apple or something in the meanwhile.
It's like just to hide my mortification because I'm thinking, why the fuck did I just do that?
Yeah, like you feel your hard emotion like soften as you unleash this tirade into her. And as I said, like she smiles like, finally some emotion out of you, Harley. I was beginning to think that you were just an aesthetic.
I just like...
You really are an Eldar. A true Eldar.
Like, I sort of hiss out that word, true. I just like... I inhale, I compose myself. I inhale sharply, and I just slowly sort of sink back down to my chair. But I feel fucking powerful after having said that. Even though she doesn't realize her son just stood up to her, I know I just stood up to my mom, and I feel powerful for it. Like, I feel flexed.
Yeah. So she says, well, this is all wonderful information. Absolutely, I will take advantage of it, especially if there are long key of means and power among those ships. And if it will starve the Catan and then allow the Necrons to actually fight against it. It doesn't matter to me if the Necrons or the Catan win in the final conflict as long as I show up and take out the other. So as long as they're even in strength, that works to my advantage. What did you want in exchange for this information? I am not. I am not generous.
I am not generous.
I already thinks for a second, and like she only thinks for like a second and mentions a homunculus.
Oh god.
What, you want one to travel with you out of the webway portal? Become your servant for a while. I think I have just the candidate.
Something out of character. I know that sometimes it's weird with Drukhari being in real space because they like Slaanesh sucks on them more, but at the same time they mostly live in the Navigator Spire, so Yeah.
Obviously, this one here, and she gestures to Ira, is keeping up with herself even in the real space. So obviously you have some source of negative energy for her. And so if the homunculus would require some, I'm sure he can get some himself.
Oh, don't worry. Did she say she for the homunculus?
Would this homunculus be working for this Monkey Holtz that you two work for? And you both you kind of like stop for a moment because you didn't tell her that at all.
Well, I didn't mention Holtz's name, but she knows.
Right. Yeah.
Ira chuckles to herself because it's so obvious that she would actually know. She's a fucking Drukhari. Of course she would know what is happening.
I didn't know that. My spot... Okay, first, when Ira mentioned homunculus, immediately I got worried. Because I think we're going to have a homunculus loose on the ship. That's not going to end well. That'll never end well.
Also, something that I want to mention. Partially, Ira is getting a homunculus for herself so that she can have more suffering.
Oh god.
And also for Sator, because I wanted one for so fucking long.
Side thing, I know this from a book I'm actually currently reading called Warrior Coven, which is the one where the Death Watch fight alongside Guardians of Ulthwé against the Drukhari. And I know this, homunculus ones are actually some of the easiest Drukhari to manipulate, because if you present them with a juicy opportunity to torture...
You cut out. I'm going... Kronos sort of died, I think. I think that he was going to say that their homunculus are easy to manipulate because if you present them with like a juicy opportunity to torture, they'll do anything. And with breeding...
Sorry,
with...
I just had a phone call. I had a phone call quick. Guys, I had a phone call quick. What I was saying was, homunculus are some of the easiest Drukhari to manipulate because if you give them a ripe opportunity to torture someone or something that's very rare, especially another kind of Eldar, that you can basically wrap them around your finger and they will tell you anything and do anything just to get at that. So
I mean,
Yeah.
Sator has it's like homunculus usually probably wouldn't be too interested in like polymorphine, but they might find it.
yeah.
It depends.
Yeah, so Sator definitely wants a homunculus working under him because, like,
Also, at
Crazy
the same time, Sator 100% didn't talk with Ara about this.
Yeah. Sator is such a masochist.
yeah. So what does Saphar think of Ira's request?
The request is horrifying, but out of character, I have an idea that if we really need to pump this homunculus for information, I'll offer myself up for a little bit of torture. Like, I'll let him use me as a
God.
victim
Oh
if
my
it
god!
lets him spill his guts, because it probably
Oh my god! All right. Yeah.
Sator is already a navigator. He'll already have interesting people to torture. You don't have to offer yourself.
But also, that aside, like when she says Holtz, she mentions Holtz's name, my spine and soul turn to fucking ice. Like, I panic, and I'm immediately scared, and I'm thinking, there's a really good chance she knows who I am. Like, more than 50% chance she might know who I am. But I'm not going to drop the act because I'm not going to drop the act just in case.
Got your con, Harlequin.
Ira makes a snide comment that she got good spies.
That she got what?
Good spies.
Good spice.
Oh, only the best spies for me.
But
and her eyes like twinkle a little when she says that.
I see. The spice melange.
And then she says, well, I do have a potential candidate for that. He deserved a little bit of time in the torture chamber. So I assume working for Monkey is like the greatest torture I could provide.
Oh.
She like laughs to herself a little and says,
one of them was on Terra working with the custodies.
Homunculus second class Houndar will be joining you on your trek back to the Webway port. You can keep him for however long this Monkey Holtz lives.
Oh god. Again, I flinch at the mention of Holtz's name because I'm like, fuck, I think I'm starting to regret having ever suggested this because I feel like I've just put everyone in danger.
She says however long Holtz lives, and she's while giving us a homunculus.
I'm just thinking, like, fuck.
If Holtz wants to die, he isn't allowing us to revive him.
Oh god.
First off. But second off, yeah.
No, I feel like next in line to claim the ship if Holtz dies is Gizmek, so we have to keep Holtz alive.
Oh god.
Holtz must live.
And you have already provided the information, so you're in no place to negotiate. You'll just take my deal.
Yeah.
She grins widely and she says, "The Major Domo will escort you out, and we'll take you to whichever one of the Webway portals you wish. I assume you want to go back to Gilneas?
Indeed. Seeing how much you already know about us, I assume that specific information about the systems of, the system in this part of the galaxy, whatever, that she are basically asking if she already knows anything that she would want to know about the planets in this system and all of that.
Yeah, she knows basically everything
Yeah.
you would want to be able to tell her. But like
Yeah.
she didn't know about the Necrons waking up, so she was okay to give you this extra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's going to fucking stop a Catan and Necrons, so
Yeah. So she says, "Well, I have much to prepare," and she like stands up to her like full height, and she like lords over both of you. Yeah. And she turns around and goes to this like large wooden door behind her, and opens it, and then the major domo comes in and like comes over to you two, and then she like spins around and looks at the two of you, and she says, "It's been nice seeing you, my son." And she just like leaves.
Oh, I knew you were gonna do this. I knew it. I'm thinking like the second I leave, he's gonna say, "Thanks for stopping by, son." Like I immediately freeze, and then just like.
Just know that there is a place here for you if you ever wish to return.
Like I just sort of like, I say I'm I'm thinking like at least I can drop the stupid voice, but immediately I'm frightened. It's a billion different emotions right now. I sort of pause in my tracks, sort of flip back the hood, and restyle my hair back to normal, and just be like, "Thanks, Mom, but I assure you, I'm fine."
You should feed more often. You were scrawny when you entered.
Aw,
And then
that's pretty sweet. That'd be pretty sweet. Son, you're skinny.
And you like look down at yourself and like you're like ripped right now.
I'm waiting till I get the chance to look in a mirror. Like if there's a mirror back in the room, I'm gonna look in it. But like,
oh, you're not going back to your room. She's sending you out. She's sending you out.
So we're leaving the tower.
Yeah. So the major domo like takes you to the elevator, takes you to the first floor.
I want to say that if because of your looking down and expecting yourself, Ira hands you a fucking pocket mirror or something.
Does she?
I feel like it would be funny, so yes.
Okay. Like she had
like you notice how much larger you are when you're like walking through the first floor. Like you've gained like at least 6 inches of height since you've been in this tower.
Jesus.
You're not really sure how long that's been.
I've gained like 6 inches. I feel bulky, but I don't feel like cumbersome, like my movement's hindered. And when looking in Ira's little pocket mirror, like my ebony complexion, it seems like paler or almost a little bit drained, but not in an unhealthy way. And my teeth look sharper.
Your teeth are like glowing a little.
The teeth are glowing. My eyes are greener than ever, like almost shining. Like I look really good right now, and it's unsettling.
Yeah.
You also.
And she's like, come back for a meal whenever you want. You know.
Like I just muddle, like I'm not hungry, and I leave.
Yeah. So yeah, the major domo. So she's already gone. The major domo takes you to the first floor, takes you outside. Waiting for you there is the raider that dropped off those slaves when you first arrived. The men that you brought with you are all like basically like merging with the tower and like screaming in agony.
Mm-hmm.
And on the raider is a new face. He's extremely pale. He's got like 7 arms, all coming out of different parts of his body. He's got his like eyes down, like he's like being kowtowed, and he's got a very fancy looking like metal choker around his neck that's like blinking.
Bomb collar.
Yeah, he like bows low to the two of you when you get on the raider, and says he is Hound.
I in my normal voice, I just say, "We know who you are." And
then he like slowly rises back up to his full height and just keeps his eyes down, like he doesn't like maintain any eye contact.
I'm
Yeah.
looking at him square in the face. Like I'm basically, I walk up to this guy, and I actually, when I walk past him, I knock him with my shoulder a little bit, like giving that idea of I don't like you, and I'm the one in charge here. Like I'm trying to flex on the guy.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Give me an intimidation check.
You still have +4.
Yeah, you got +4 to your willpower.
That is stats, intimidation. So difficult dice pool 7.
Yeah, give me intimidation difficulty
Difficulty what?
3.
3 and dice pool 7. Okay. 7 successes.
Yeah. So like he like shivers in fear from
That felt awesome.
and that's a good feeling to you.
That is an awesome feeling. I feel like a badass. Like
Give me a corruption test.
motherfucker.
Difficulty 6.
You're doing this to your fucking self. God damn.
Dice pool 7.
Hey, hope that you don't fail it by 1.
Dice pool 7. Difficulty what?
Difficulty
6.
6.
Yeah. You're it. Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Re-roll that. We know you
Roll
want to.
it. Roll it for the love of fuck.
You know what? Quick question. What happens if I take it? What happens?
You take 6 corruption points.
Well, you'll take 6 corruption, so you'll go up a tier of corruption. You'll go up 2 tiers of corruption because you got 10.
Oh no!
Because fucking
and so I'll give you some Dark Eldar traits.
Like what?
We'll have to figure that out. But I'll give you some Dark Eldar traits.
I'm genuinely divided on whether or not I should.
I mean, it's a cool story point either way.
You know what? I think it would be a cool story point. I think it might serve interesting, especially the direction I'm going with this character and how I would want to upgrade him into an actual Harlequin if we ever get to that point as a death jester of all things. So what do you guys think? I need some advice here.
I feel like 6 corruption is a bit ridiculous because it's there because of the complication. Whenever you fail and you get a complication on corruption, you get double the corruption points.
Like
that's why it's 6.
Yeah, if it were only 3 corruption or even 1 corruption, like to go up like 1 tier, I think like going up 2 tiers like immediately is a bit much. Like especially at this point.
Okay, I'll re-roll it.
Yeah.
It's like me going up to fucking 70.
Okay, before you re-roll it, I'll tell you what you get when this happens.
I already re-rolled.
So, well, we can not have the re-roll or whatever.
Okay.
I
have to go really.
If you wanted to, I'm gonna give you a devil's bargain here, right? So the devil's bargain is that you'll keep 2 of the stat boosts that you have, like your attributes. But you'll like feel like an addiction to this negative emotion. Otherwise, you'll go back to like your regular self after a short while, and like lose all of the attribute bonuses.
Wait, what would happen? How would I go?
So you'll still degrade back towards where you had before in terms of attributes, but you'll keep 2 of the bonuses across all of your attributes. So you get +2 to all your attributes, but you're gonna have an addiction to suffer.
Yeah. I see.
Meanwhile,
so you'll start like down that Dark Eldar path, basically.
I feel like you should only give him 3 corruption for that because going up to 10 would be a bit insane.
Well, that's why it's 2 attribute points because he's gone 2 levels.
Yeah.
That's fair. Also, I'm going to assume that he won't fucking die when he gets to 25 corruption points.
No. He'll just go full Dark Eldar at that point.
Yeah.
He'll probably he'll lose control of his character because like he'll just go and live with his mom at that point.
I'll just dip out into the webway or something.
You'll end up becoming like the second in command to Drushtada's empire and like start your own empire at some point.
Yeah, that or she'd kill me to get rid of the rival, the very competent rival. Which is
I doubt that.
Likely. But that being said, yeah, I'll take it.
Cool. So you're at 10 corruption.
Yeah.
And so you'll have so go ahead and give yourself, +2 to all your attributes at the baseline.
Like the athletics, awareness, ballistics?
No, not skills.
Oh.
Your attributes. So +2 strength, +2 toughness, +2
Which
agility,
one?
+2.
There is.
Which one do I change?
There is a.
The top number, because the bottom number is like takes from your experience. The top number is like your baseline.
I was going to say that you could. The thing is that I'm pretty sure that having a baseline, but also having your other things at the bottom does make you spend more XP. So you
Yes.
should make it. So I'm. Do you want him to give him baseline upgrades, or do you want him to have extra stats for free?
It'll be baseline upgrades. It'll be more expensive to upgrade attributes beyond that point.
Yeah.
That means it's now part of his character, right? It's not like a temporary boost or anything.
I have to go for a little bit. Like I'll be back. Maybe like.
Yeah,
20 minutes.
your part of the scene is finished. So
I'll be back.
you go back. We're going back to the other side. We're diagonal wiping to the other people. Great. So that was.
I want to mention one thing is that pretty soon after they got the homunculus, Ira would probably go like so, and I assume that he would flinch a little bit.
Oh yeah. He's like shivering.
What did you do to piss off your Archon so much?
He like shakes his head and says, "I've been denied from providing that information, but just know that it was worth it." And he like
You think so?
he like giggles to himself a little.
Yeah.
So you don't know, but it's something horrible.
Hey, we fucking released an AI in the first campaign, so
We did do that.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're back to Holtz and Gizmek and Sator. Do you guys want to do like downtime activities, or do you want to just show up in Gilney?
I think I covered like all of the downtime that I wanted to cover like in that like first meeting, because that was like every like little bit that I wanted to like discuss beforehand.
Did Gizmek want to work on some sort of tech while they're in the work?
I'm going to be starting to work on the frame and whatnot for that armor I'm thinking of.
Okay, yeah. Just give me some huge orc mech boy tech test.
The only things that I'm thinking about is either, excuse me, God, hanging out with the clan Ashers for a bit to just get even better along with them potentially.
Yeah, give me a leadership check from Sator.
I want to say either that or maybe upgrading Sator's Power Fist, but currently Gizmek is busy, so.
Go ahead and give me a
yeah.
leadership check. We'll figure out how much the Escher gals do.
I have fucking 7. Damn.
Ooh. Wow.
Well, that's a complication.
You probably want to reroll that, maybe.
We'll have a complication. I'm going to write that down in my notes.
I would love to re-roll that.
Also, I want to say that Sator would be generally try just talking with them and making drugs with them generally.
I mean, you got 4 successes.
Yeah, and he would also, it's like, oh, if they offer him something, he will accept, because it's like, he will get a notification 1 hour before.
There is a re-roll. Oops, I pressed the wrong button.
He will get like a
successes.
notification. Nice. He will get like a notification 1 hour before he has to go back into his room to check the warp and the path and all of that, and he can just use a detox.
So what does your like exo armor look like? It's like some merging of the like Necron tech and the Orc tech.
Yeah, so the primary majority of it is obviously quite orky, because that's what I know, and it's going to be basically mega armor in effective like classification.
Sure.
So I'm going for like a big mega mech orc knob kind of armor that covers everything very well except for the face, because I want to watch people as they die. And I don't need anything covered in my mouth and whatnot. The cork is getting left though, of course. And of course, it's getting painted mostly red and spiky and whatnot. But at the torso
you're painting
level,
you're
it's going
painting
to
it
be more
red
Necron.
and you're painting it red and spiky. So this is where the complication comes in. You like,
Oh no.
as you're building this armor, like you feel like a bloodlust begin to like flow through you as you're building it. And you just keep adding more and more spikes to this armor, and you're just like thinking of all of the murder that you'll perform with this armor. So I need you to make me a conviction test.
All right. I will do my damnedest.
Difficulty, I think 4.
Conviction is just willpower, right?
Yes.
Difficulty 4.
Okay. So yeah, so like all you're thinking of is like being on the battlefield in this armor.
Before you continue, conviction, when you roll a 6 on a conviction test, the DN goes down by half.
Oh, does
when
it?
you roll, yes, he rolled just straight willpower instead of conviction, but I'm just rolling a mutation roll to see if I can get it, but like, yeah, see, DN reduced by 2. Excuse me.
Oh, okay. So that is a wrath critical, DN reduced by 2. So yeah, so you do pass. So you do feel this like bloodlust, but you like internalize it and you like get back to work. If you didn't know, that was corn pulling into your bloodline. But the interference is through. And so yeah, so you make this armor. What part of the mega armor is Necron tech, and like what does that look like?
So you cut me off just before I was going to mention that the torso bit is primarily where, like, number one, the energy cell is going to be like straight in like front, like between my pectorals, and I'm going to have the entire front just like lambasted in like some green as well, and set up with the Necron tech portion of it to power the rest of it. So the hopeful effect is that it removes any of the side effects of cumbersome permanently instead of just when I'm charging because I'm orc.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That makes total sense. So yeah. So you've got like some like pistons that are probably from like the frame of like a tomb guard or something. And so like they're providing such a tremendous amount of force that you're able to move around in the mega armor significantly better than usual.
Nothing that big should move that fast, orc.
It's you're able to like prototype it a little. You're pretty close to being finished with it, so you're able to like test it out, and like it's moving around like almost as if like as like Space Marine armor would. Like it's like moving to your thought.
That's good.
The only downside is like there's like a little like claw in the helmet that has to like attach to your like skull, and that's how it like reads your inputs. So you've got like this like weird like Necron claw.
I imagine if anything, I have it wrapped up into the cork in my forehead.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's like almost done. You'll probably get that done in the next like downtime.
Yeah. Also,
Okay, cool.
Also, there is a story behind the cork in the forehead.
I'm sure. Okay, so you guys arrive in Gilneas, and obviously Jakel Veronis, you know, he's dying for update.
Well, first we have to try to see if we can pick up Ira and Saphar somewhere.
Yeah, that'll happen at some point.
Yeah, but like when Veronis like calms me, is like, "What are you talking about? We never left. That never happened. Also, you should never say that word ever again." Maybe we should have drinks. Come over here.
Yeah, he taps his nose, and then his ship slowly moves through the system towards yours, and he's on your in your dining room.
Just as like a note, like before like he shows up, I'm in the dining room. I look at where the hole where the Necron used to be. I'm just like, damn it! Now we have to redecorate.
I got an idea.
No,
so,
Gizmek.
So Gizmek wanders off, ignoring you saying that, and comes back with like 3 chessboards and just arranges them on the wall. Beautiful.
I suppose it's like placeholders they can do.
But when Sator gets his
placeholders? Oh, you underestimate me, Holtz. Don't worry, I'll have this done by the end of the week.
When Sator gets his homunculus, he's going to stick one of his experiments there.
Yeah, so I think like Varonis like mentions like the change in decoration. He like gestures to the wall and he said, "Beautiful regicide boards, much better than what was there previously."
I know!
But it brought the whole room together.
And it was tacky, and you know it.
Every time
Gizmek
Gizmek speaks, the like navigator that follows Varonis around like sort of like shivers and like tries to like look away from him. She's terrified of him.
Gizmek notices this and starts to slowly walk over to him.
She like slowly tries to back away from you in like the most polite way possible.
Oh, you're a scaredy cat. Don't worry, I don't bite much.
Sator approaches Gizmek and is like, "Hey, look, Gizmek. Someone else said that green sucks."
What? All of a sudden, like, massive stomping and Gizmek's charging out of the room.
He probably wasn't going to provide a lot of talking points anyways.
He didn't even wait around for the fucking like directions on who actually did. He just charges out of the room. Some poor sob is probably dead.
Yeah.
So, you're probably like slam somebody. You just hear like banging as you're like slamming somebody against the wall. Like you just hear like "green is good" in the background.
I'm just the
janitor. Yeah, so Verona is like, as much as I enjoy going through your triple sex stock, and he like takes another like long. I'm dying to know what's happening over there.
So, officially, it doesn't exist anymore. I'll just say that outright. You should scrub all records, and I'll explain why. Now, and he presses a button, and like everything's like locked down in this room. Like electronic devices are like pretty much like disabled, except for like very very specific devices. Like it's a lockdown room.
Yeah, like his assistant's pad. She's in the middle of like getting rid of Karsoka from all the official records, and her pad like turns.
Yeah,
just like a knock on the door, just like, "Hey, why can't I get in there more?" Just muffled in the background.
And it's like, and like just for the sake of brevity, we explain like what happened and like the Kirtan and the Necrons and that, and like we'll explain like a few of the details of our plan, and we'll explain that we are just buying time, because unless you have a way to get like an entire Imperial fleet into the area, we're not going to be able to stop it. We do not have the firepower.
Yeah, like we just go from like Jacob being like sort of like laid back and like confident and being like, happy in his position, and then like after the conversation, he's like sweating. Like he's got like huge sweat stains in his like on his shirt. Like he's got like his elbows on the table. He's got his like hand pressed to his face. And he's just like shaking his head back and forth, and he's like, "Throne. It's just more and more things every day on this side of the galaxy."
Yes, well, at least you're not me, who decided to go find some world eaters to use himself as bait to go, throw them at the problem.
Yeah, he like leans back in the chair, just like it keeps his hand on his face, and he's like, I mean, I guess that makes sense.
It makes about as much sense as anything else.
So you sent two of your own to go get the Drukhari in this battle royale.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's a genius idea. My hat's off to you. But whoever comes out on top of that conflict.
Oh yes, no, there's
such a problem.
Well,
are they going to be more of a problem than someone with a Catan, than someone connected with a Catan, although?
It'll be about the same, honestly, Sator. The only thing we're doing right now is buying time to see if we can fix it in that time. If we didn't do this, we'd be screwed.
Yes, because eventually Milik would, I guess the light from Karsoka would reach Gilneas, and then he'd have complete control of the whole sector. Like if he could just appear and disappear at whim, like we would just have to surrender.
Yep. Fortunately, I don't think his disappearing act. Well, I guess he can move things with his mind, but it's not accurate, or it's not particularly effective at this point. You know, I think his body right now is incorporeal and doesn't really have much effect on the outside world. What I'm saying is that his transformation is incomplete.
Like Veronis like points at the hologram that's like constantly replaying the scene from the dining room before, and he's like, but he's holding a fork.
He's not holding a fork properly. And he points at it again, and is like, see how it's clipping into his hands?
Right, but if it wasn't a fork, say that was a sword or a gun or whatever.
Oh, I'm not saying not to be concerned, Captain. I'm saying it's not complete yet.
This is horrifying.
It's not complete yet, and we just came back from the warp. For all we know, it could be complete by now.
Hopefully the Necrons have, stalled it out. And by throwing more and more... by the way, do you know where the World Eaters come from? Also, if you found any orcs recently, that would be helpful too.
Oh. Yeah, like he hasn't been able to leave the system himself, so he doesn't have any information on the orcs. He does know like which direction the World Eaters have been coming from their last couple of like skirmishes into the system.
Can I spend a wrath point to make it so that he does have information on orcs, so that our next session can be in the spirit of October?
Okay, sure.
All right, so I've lost both my wrath points at this point.
This would be old information. But before the long night, there was rumors of a world currently being besieged by a Wa nearby. He didn't have it in the like information because he didn't think that system would still survive. But if you're in a suicide pact with 4 major players in the system, why not give it a go?
I mean, if with all luck, the orcs will just hear of a big fight and go running anyways. That is their normal modus operandi, but I suppose some insurance on that front would be better.
Knock, knock, knock on the door. Did I hear orcs?
No.
Yes.
Comes over the speakers in the room. I think I heard orcs.
How did you get those on? The entire ship is on lockdown.
Yeah, and you think that matters to me?
Just get it. Come to the room. I'll let you in.
Okay. Unlocks the door himself, walks in.
I hit the button that closes the door back up. I should have left you back on the world leadership.
He says, There was a system by the name of Generis Gamma, and he like shares the coordinates and like puts up a picture of it on the view screen. It's like a desert hive world they were putting out pretty significant requests for aid when the Cicatrix split us from the Astronomicon, so we haven't been able to send any. They might still be there. It's been years since these transmissions, but this is the closest thing that meets your request.
Well, it's better than nothing. What about the World Eaters? You said you knew the direction. I also know which direction they left the other system from. So maybe we can
I was about to say, like, I believe that they have returned and taken control of that system, as the skirmishes have been coming from that direction.
Great. Okay, well, I guess I know which way I need to go and piss them off.
The Imperium, myself, and I'm sure the Emperor would thank you for this service that you're providing. Humanity would not survive if all of these threats weren't canceling each other.
Oh, for the record, I am charging you an absolutely god-awful amount of money once I get back. I'm not letting you wiggle out of it.
He tats a little and like brings up the contract. He's like, I will provide you refits for your ship as promised, but I assure you the cost of providing the Space Marine quarters alone, he like shows how much that was.
It's like, yeah, and you think I'm not going to ask for more? He's more. This is more like him, just like trying to alleviate like the pressure of the situation. Just
like he realized you're trying to like bring some levity, and he's like very thankful. Yeah.
Yeah, but let's see. On to the next order of business. Miss Navigator, don't think I ever got your name.
Oh shit! You're gonna make me look that up. I did. It's in the main rulebook. She says her name, which I'll look up while you can.
I think the path to the Dark Imperium is actually named after her. But like, how would you like to get married to my navigator, Sator? I know he looks like that, but I mean, with a bag over his head, you can't really tell the difference.
She looks up and she says, like, "Sir, you must be jesting."
Not entirely. And he like switches like the hologram to like the next scene is like, and it's the image of like the navigator like that has undergone the surgery and like it's also like halfway dead and like missing his humanity. It's like, with the advent of the Dark Astronomicon, I fear that there may be some rogue elements, both here in the Gilead system and beyond, that would be tempted with free reign through warp travel with this new technology, which puts the various navigators that are still around this part of the Imperium at risk, grave risk. My proposal is to create a new house for the navigators that will act in their interests, and also provide a political base for them to resist undergoing this surgery.
I have been trying to do the same, even though the navigators in Gilneas are very depressed at the moment.
I can imagine, which is why I'm proposing this union. After all, the future head of this house would have access to a warp drive that can travel through the warp.
Go on.
Well, if that house had the negotiating power to determine which ships could enter and exit the warp, I'm sure they would have quite the bargaining power among ship captains, the Imperial Navy, rogue traders.
And she looks over at Sator and she says, "Do you agree?"
We've already talked this through, so yes.
Do you say that in that like tone, like that like dismissive tone? Or?
That's Sator's general tone is the thing. He's not being dismissive.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
He's just always sort of monotone.
Okay. So yeah. She says, "Well, if it will improve our position in this part of the galaxy for humanity, then yes, it seems like the best idea."
Excellent. Well, after we go on our suicide mission, when we get back, we'll have a ceremony. Broadcast it all over the Gilead system.
I have rituals to prepare.
I'll prepare the wooden mask. Or the other thing.
And I look at Veronis, is like, so should I prepare the flowers or should you?
He just like laughs and he says, "Don't you worry about the nuptials. I will have a ceremony prepared for your return."
Good.
This is another good idea from you.
Oh, I'm just full of them. Oh man, and I don't think there's anything else.
He's also full of himself.
Well, that too, but I don't think there's anything else that I need to discuss. I'm assuming Invictor Brahm is like in the room. I don't know,
Nah, he wasn't. He didn't invite him.
Okay, well, if anyone else needs to like add anything, I don't think there's anything else that I need to add.
I just want to mention that after they've left and all of that, Sator would make the joke that this is the first time he's actually found he'll have a real use for the polymorphine while not calling it polymorphine because to
make himself look handsome.
Yeah.
I mean, she's like weird and mutated as well. So it's not like you're like the Beauty and the Beast or whatever.
Yeah, still that it's just for, imperial propaganda and all of that.
Like she's got like one eye that's like a glass eye, right? She's got like two fingers that are longer on her left hand than the rest of her fingers.
Yeah.
She's got the whole thing going on.
Yeah, but Holtz had to make fun of Sator because he's the guy.
Of course. Okay, great.
At this point.
I need a navigation check from Sator. And are you guys going to the World Eaters, or are you going to go to Generous
we need to pick up
deal with the orcs first?
Are we going to pick up Ira and
Yeah, I imagine you stay in the system for long enough to refit and refuel, and eventually, Saphar and Ira return. They both look different than when they left. They are radiating with power.
Saphar is looking fucking buff, and
Saphar is looking shredded. And he's like 6 inches taller than he was when he left, and Ira is like a foot taller than she was when she left.
Yeah.
And she looks like she could like strangle somebody with her bare hands,
Crush a watermelon or a human head between her thighs.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to. Hey, I want to make the degenerate jokes, but you already did it before me, so
Too late.
Yeah. When they arrive on the ship, Sator isn't even going to realize it. He'll just be stuck with the homunculus.
Yeah, I'd probably ask for a report from them. Also, who's the new guy?
So they give their full report of what happened, and the negotiations and so forth, and like they said the Drushtata like accepted the information for this servant.
Ira is probably going to mention, hey, going to mention that Holtz might want to check his spies a bit.
Oh no, I was like, I knew she probably knew about me. I mean, after all, I did give her a bunch of soldiers from my ship, who I knew were going to be used as slaves. No doubt, she pumped them for information.
I mean, they were literally just stuck to the tower, but it's like if Space Marines can eat someone's brain and get information, then why can't Drukhari?
Yeah, I mean, she probably like tortured the hell out of them to get all the information out of just the servants. So like they know, and they knew something.
It's like,
yeah,
Holtz isn't nearly concerned as Saphar would have been, because it's like, yeah, I gave her literally like crew for my ship. That was my introduction to her. If she thinks otherwise, that's her problem.
And yeah, so they relate that she's just gonna sit in the webway and wait for one of the groups to get weak and then strike.
Well, then we better force her hand, because otherwise we're gonna have another group come in, and then I'll have another group come in.
I mean, to be fair, the Drukhari are still they're already strong or whatever, so it's not like they're doing much to the humans at the moment. They're just grabbing slaves all over the galaxy like they usually do.
Yeah.
Yay.
It's just that they can be a bit more aggressive than normal because they don't have to worry about the Imperium.
Yeah, and I'm also just going to throw like more spanners in the works. I mean, if they don't want to act, that's on them. It's not my problem.
And yeah, you have this homunculus who's just like shivering and like laughing nervously to himself with his like eyes down, with his like death gorge on.
I look down at the homunculus and step up to him, and I'm just like, "Welcome to the ship, kid. You got a lot of arms. Wonder what you'd sound like if I rip them off."
Oh, you would hear the ecstasy of my screaming, I'm sure.
Oh, you're one of those types. All right. Kicks him the balls and leaves.
Don't worry. Like, Holtz is just like, yeah, don't worry about him. He's like that to everyone. Everyone gets a ball kick when they first step on the ship.
He's not going to rip one of my arms off. That's disappointing.
Oh, I mean, he'll gladly do that if you ask him.
No, I won't. He'll like it.
Well, there you go. Anyway,
we can't always get what we want, can we, Cap?
No, I suppose not. By the way, can any of you introduce me to this whatever it is?
Ira probably is going to go. Sator and Holtz. This is what was his name again?
Homunculus Houndar, sir. Diviner of the mysteries of the flesh.
Fantastic. Okay. Sator, you're in charge of the new pet. If he causes problems, I don't want to hear about it.
Understood.
If any of you would like to donate a DNA sample, I would be able to have a clone ready in case of your demise.
Sator sort of looks at Ira with like just it's slightly weird because it's a combination of excitement and confusion.
You get like 2 seconds before you hear loud stomping coming back.
Yes, Mr. Big Green Sir.
What'd you say about clones?
Well, they're just expressions of the flesh, and so I'm a master of such technology.
Yeah, literally just like cuts off a little bit of himself with this fucking power claw, hands it to him. I want to fight myself. See ya.
But your soul can only operate one body at a time, sir.
Don't
You'll figure
bother
something
explaining.
out, boy.
Yeah, I thought you were a master of the flesh.
Well, I mean, I guess I could give it a basic personality. It would, I don't want to overcome the original by accident.
Oh
Hello,
no,
you just
listen, like Holtz puts a hand on like whatever is left of his shoulders. Is like, trust me, he'd love that.
To
Wait,
be
what?
to be replaced with a homunculus.
No. Like to like the clone to be stronger than him would actually like tickle the orc pig because he's an orc.
Holtz knows me very
okay.
well.
Yes.
Chrono.
Yeah.
Saphar is like feeling a little bit faint ever since he returned from the webway, and you've lost one of those 4 stat points, so you're down to 3 bonus on everything right now.
Okay, but my overall bonus is still there. That overall bonus.
So
is 2.
if anybody looks at Saphar, he looks like shredded and flowing with power, but also like exhausted.
Question: how did everyone react to that? To seeing me like that when I came back?
Holtz did not care.
Sator is just stuck looking at the inspecting the homunculus.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, like the major glow up is Ira, right? Like she's a lot more obvious than
girl.
Saphar. So everyone's sort of focusing on her, I think.
Gizmek didn't pay much attention to Saphar either. Saphar's just getting sidelined.
Yeah.
Also,
all my big things keep getting sidelined because there's always something a lot more important going on. Like the reveal that Jashtada is my mother was sidelined from the fact that the entire sector is about to go up in flames.
Yeah.
And me coming back corrupted is getting overshadowed by the fact that there's now a fucking homunculus on board.
yeah.
I mean, Gizmek
and
immediately
Ira got
walked up to
notified.
the homunculus and threatened to rip his arm off, and when he realized that the homunculus would like that, he left.
Oh, I can't crump this. I cannot crump under these conditions. I'm leaving.
Crumping someone that wants to just have their arms ripped off is no fun.
I will also point out that Holtz is just generally kind of unflappable.
That
Like-
Holtz has literally seen all of it and more.
Yeah, like there's not a whole lot you can do to get Holtz's attention unless he just wants to cast his attention in that direction.
Sator is probably gonna tell
I'm aware that I have been corrupted to a point, and it's concerning to me, as you can imagine. Because
I don't know if you notice it yet, because you're still feeling, like the high from the events. It's when the high drops off that you'll feel.
Yeah, like it hasn't like part of my high dropped off a little bit.
A little bit, but you were expecting that.
That's true. Like, yeah, I'm coming down,
Yeah.
and like I see. I'm a little bit jealous that nobody noticed me. Like I'm like no one has asked me what happened because I just confronted my mom. You would expect someone to like come up and ask me what happened or how that went. So I'm a little bit huffy about that. But I do have taken a moment to step in and sort of, along with Ira, fill everyone in on what happened and the fact that we did get her on board.
Yeah. Also, like Holtz would probably mention that, or like you would have been there when Holtz mentions like, oh yeah, no, I know she would have figured out about me. Like, why do you think I sent like a bunch of soldiers from my ship? That was me introducing myself to her.
Oh,
Also, I want to say
that's annoying. Like
Well-
that is surprisingly, Saphar is now considered a little more quick to annoyance lately, and that's annoying because he feels like he's getting played and used by everybody around him. Like Holtz didn't tell him that. He didn't know Holtz knew, and then his mom didn't tell him that she knew it was him. He's getting pissed. Like everyone's jerking him around right now, and he's not happy about it. So I just sort of like
yeah.
Do you have anything planned for me at the moment?
I mean, like when we go into the warp, like I'll have like I was actually planning on like talking with you for a little bit.
Okay.
Yes, I want to say that Sator, once the entire conversation is over, Sator will just be like, Master Homunculus, you're coming with me to my navigator spire, and Saphar, what the fuck happened to you?
Oh, someone noticed. Like,
Sator isn't surprised by Ira because she's already a Drukhari, but he's really confused by Saphar because he's a Harlequin.
like me being still a little bit oblivious to the fact that my eyes are glowing, my teeth are sharp and shining, my skin color has lightened a little bit, and I am now half a foot taller and ripped. I'm just like, it's just the residual effects of exposure to the alternative way of living. I sort of just hand wave it away. I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, Ira says it was titillating, to say the least.
I just realized something.
It's been so long since I felt
She knew
that much.
Gear-Turnah knew that was me, but still decided to, right in front of me. Oh,
Yep.
I need more therapy now.
She may not. All right. Here's the thing. She may not have known that yet because she hadn't had the opportunity to torture the new guest she had.
I see. Okay. I see. I'm thinking. I'm like, I need more therapy now.
But or she could have known a long time beforehand and just decided to have fun anyways. Who
That's
knows?
awful.
She is a Drukhari, but there
She
is.
like this why I left.
Yeah.
Why I left.
The only people who you can get any therapy from in here would probably be either Sator or Ira.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
homunculus is like the mistress is quite adept at her art.
Anyways, we're going to the Navigator Spire. If you get there before me, I will slowly rip your fingers off.
Oh, God.
You promise?
Yes.
And he just looks around and starts shuffling.
Starts sprinting.
Sator is just going to find a safe spot where he can just teleport to his Navigator Spire.
All right.
So meanwhile, Holtz has this extra insanity on his ship now.
Yeah, no, Holtz is like, I know I'm allowed to have aliens on my ship, but I was expecting one, maybe two, not this.
They're dividing.
Yeah, they're going through mitosis, and in fact, that might happen literally now.
Oh, God.
Especially since I'm doing this. Hey, set course for that orc planet.
Oh,
Hey,
no.
Gizmek, you don't need other orcs. All you need is yourself 1,000 times.
You know that one orc who went back
You know,
in time?
Fight
killed himself
myself
to
is a
get-
bit of a novelty. But, I'd rather get some boss around. Let's go!
We're going to the World Eaters first.
Aw.
God damn it. I really want to hopefully get it in at the beginning of next session, at least so
We're
that's
gonna
still in
do it next
October.
session because he spent a wrath point, and it would make more sense to have the world leaders chase you directly to Karsoka.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
So
fine.
we'll
Maybe
do
we
the
butt
orcs
into the world
first, you'll,
eaters on the
misdirect
way.
them to Karsoka, and then you'll go get the world eaters and have them chase you.
Now
Can
we'll
we
just
get orcs? We have orcs at home.
Yeah.
Because
Now I think
Orktober is a thing, and
We gotta love it.
I think that I'm not here on the 22nd because I got a tournament. I think 29th will be the next game, so it'd be part of
Yeah,
October.
you already
We'll have-
confirmed that the 22nd was a tournament, and so I've made
Yes.
other plans accordingly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
So work
let's
travel
see.
and then finish session, I guess.
Yeah, so let's do a navigation check.
Ugh.
The warp is a royal at the moment, so difficulty 5.
Let me check my bloody things again. Okay, 4 from pirating, 6 from willpower. That's 10 by. Then the 6.
And you're getting a rank bonus too, right?
Yeah, I was about to say, are we at rank 3? Yes, so that's +2 at least, so that's 12. I'll just tell me the difficulty number and I'll double check if I need more dice to roll.
It's like 5.
6. Yeah, I got it. And
You got it, no
glory.
problem. Yeah, you can have a 3rd.
And also we get there somewhat fast.
Since we have time, like you're leaving at 12:30, can I just like have like my conversation with Chrono?
Yeah, totally. I was gonna have a couple of like downtime activities before we took off for the session. So
Okay.
I also want to do some quick stuff with the homunculus because
yeah. So we'll start with Holtz and Colonel.
So yeah, Holtz probably actually goes down to like Saphar's quarters.
My little hole in the wall.
Yeah.
Funny thing, when I get to that hole in the wall, I have a slight twinge of feeling in the back of my head. I'm like, I really shouldn't be just tucked up in a hole in a wall. I've been here long enough. I should have my own room. But then I'm like, but I kind of just brush the thought aside. I want to do a little. I see the book open midway through translation, and then I remember that. I'm like, oh yeah, that before everything went fuckside. I'm just kind of considering, like, should I even bother at this point? But then I'm like, no, I should. So I get back to translating it a little bit just to give myself something to do, if anything, like to just take my mind off.
And that's where Holtz finds you, is like standing in front of the lectern with the tome open up.
I see.
Yeah, and he doesn't like say hello or anything. He says, I'm a little bit surprised you came back. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad you came back. But, well, I'd be lying if I said there wasn't a betting pool whether you either died on the mission or decided to stick around the Drukhari. After all, you did say your mom was a part of them.
I give a bit of a chuckle, like, believe me, Captain, if anything that should have guaranteed I'd not stay. Die, maybe, but stay, no.
I suppose.
I joke. I'm like, I joke because he mentioned a betting pool. I say, out of curiosity, who lost how much money?
Well, I was running it, so I won anyways. But I believe Wanderer had a pretty significant bet on you staying. So you might want to talk to her.
I laugh at that. That's like, punked. But yeah, I look at him. I say, as much as I enjoy this talk, Captain, you're not one to appear without reason. Anything I can help you with?
Yes, actually.
My voice, just a heads up, my voice sounds different. It sounds like deeper and fuller. It's not as flighty and pedantic and theatrical as it was before. Like, it sounds deeper and fuller, manlier.
One, I want your opinion on Drushtata. Which, like, her methods, how she acts, things like that. I'm familiar with much of the Eldari, at least more so than most of the Imperium. But the Drukhari, on the other hand, I have limited interactions with. Ira is an exception among exceptions.
Yeah. I give like a bit of a shrug and say, unfortunately, Captain, there is little I can provide in the way of information in that regard. You see, my mother and I, we hail from the craft world Alitok. Wait, no, was it Alitok or Sanhai? Fuck.
I think it was Alitok. Doesn't matter. Good.
Yeah. We hail from the craft world Alitok. In that world, my mother made a name for herself. She was a scheming woman, a Machiavellian woman. Not by any Drukhari standards, of course, but as far as the craft world are concerned, very much so. She was feared, and rightly so. A wicked woman. Which is why I eventually left her side and decided to seek the life of a ranger. And it was from there I heard the call of the Laughing God. I lost touch with her at that point, and it was until later I found out where she had ended up. After the galaxy was torn asunder, she must have taken the chance to slip away in the confusion and, I guess, take her rightful place. The realm I saw when I got there was one of horror, beauty. Like, my face lights up when I say beauty, but horror. And I sort of tell him about all the horrible things I saw. The people chained up in chandeliers, on racks, being made into instruments, the blood soaking through the floor. Like his men being sucked and absorbed into the tower, and the whole thing with the Space Marine and the Orc. How the Space Marine wailed out in anguish when the illusion was.
Like as you're describing this, like probably among most of the Imperium, you'd probably see like like blanching faces and things like that.
Yeah.
Holtz is like somewhat like almost like dissociates from like how like gaudy and like over the top it is. It's like cartoonishly evil to the point that Holtz is like, this isn't even real.
Yeah.
Like
I laugh at that. I say, good captain, your expression tells me that if anyone should have gone to meet my mother, it should have been you.
I suppose I find the Drukhari sense of entertainment to be unimaginative. I mean, sure, there's all sorts of different torture devices and things like that, which have their uses, but when it's all torture, it's all the same.
Holtz shows up in Kimura, lol mid.
Well, that's what Chrono, what Saphar was trying to like tell you about was like how many different ways that she had set up to have this like negative emotion empower her, right? Like, did you tell her about like the window into the system that's being sucked into a black hole? And so like the horror of an entire solar system is like coming in through one of her like paintings.
Yeah, like I say, like there's like essentially a basking room with a full view of a solar system being destroyed, and like there's no way out of that place. I searched; they had my room bugged, but not as much as they should have. Like,
oh no, I get it. The Drukhari feed off of the suffering of others. It's just after a certain point, it just seems over the top.
mm-hmm.
I mean, really, like, have some variety in your life. Smell a flower. Jeez.
That gets a genuine laugh out of me. Like
Just
like the first time,
literally walk up to Drukhari and tell them to touch grass.
Yes. Like literally, like Holtz is like, damn, they should touch some grass. Like, get outside.
Skate fast, touch grass, eat ass. He leaves. And it's like that gets like for the first time in a long time a genuine good humored laugh. And I start to feel sort of that like the difference between the Drukhari lifestyle and the way they are around each other with like what more normal people are like. It's good.
It's a sad sign when you have to use Holtz as a measurement of normal people.
That's a good point. I am not properly socialized.
I mean, is anyone in the 41st millennium?
No.
Oh, no. Not at all.
Someone fucking wants to sleep with you. You have to suspect if they want to fucking corrupt you to Slanesh.
Do you want to corrupt me to Slash? Do you want to kill me, or do you want a favor? Like, that's the most sus thing.
Or do they just want a good time? You know?
No.
Or are they a
never.
gene sealer spawn now?
Or
the
Or they're looking for your DNA, you know, looking for your genetic material.
Exactly.
It's like one of 50 things. But like, in that regard, I go on to sort of reiterate that like we were able to get on her side, but only after I gave her an angry outburst. And the woman decided to drop on me that she knew who I was the entire time.
Well, as I said, the guards that I sent along with you probably would have given her that information.
God damn it.
Frankly, if it makes you feel better, I didn't think about that until 5 seconds after you left the ship.
5 seconds. Like, oh, I laugh and say, oh well, no harm done, as long as she decides there's no harm done.
Well, in any case, I've introduced myself to her now. If she wants to do further business, she could contact me. I'm sure I'm easy to find.
I see. You will make an acceptable stepdad.
Holtz like actually laughs at that. Like, oh my god. Still, I do have another question. You had every opportunity to choose whichever webway portal you wanted to use. You could have returned to the Harlequins. Why come back here? I mean, obviously, I would be upset that you didn't honor our contract, but
as easy as it would be to say, well, I have to return to them with the book, and the book was here. Like, I couldn't return without the book. I take a moment to stop and think, and I say, because we're doing something here, Captain. I feel as though the Laughing God has brought me here for a purpose. It's been such an odd and coincidental series of events to bring me here, and now we find ourselves on the precipice of stopping, like, clown knows how many threats? Like, we're not here without a reason, Captain. We have work to do, and I guess I wanted to see it through. And all things considered, I have grown quite fond of the people on this ship.
Oh, thank you!
Were you in the room?
This is just over the intercoms.
Everyone, just like, what?
don't worry, I will have Gizmek's listening privileges revoked somehow. I have technically
There you
started working on it.
I start searching the room for bugs. God damn it, every goddamn thing on this fucking ship is
You
bugs.
all of a sudden start to notice things that should be fucking obvious, like big things in the walls, just like a big hole that just says, no camera here.
No, it's just like there's like a can with a string attached to it, where the string goes through a hole in the wall.
Yeah,
Hanging
exactly.
from the ceiling. There's a can with a string hanging from the ceiling with a sticker on it that says "Not listening." Just like,
Was it?
huh? I didn't notice that.
Like I said, his listening privileges will be revoked momentarily. The tech priests are just having trouble with technology, and like he says it that it's obvious that technology is spelled with a K instead of a CH. But yeah,
You ain't gonna get past my orc technology.
If he believes he can hear you, he will hear you.
in any case, that is all I wish to discuss. Good talk with you, Saphar.
Good talk with you too, Holtz. And this is, I want to know, this is the first time I've called him Holtz, rather than Captain or like Sir or something like that. The first time I've called him Holtz.
No, I think I prefer Captain. And he says that as he's just leaving.
That gets a laugh out of me, and I give him the sort of I give sort of a mocking, like the Aquila salute that I've seen Imperials do from my spying. Like, you give him a little salute, and then just go back to my book.
And I leave. Yeah.
One thing, though, I get the feeling I'm like, oh, I should probably go get a snack. I'm feeling hungry. I did just eat, so I shouldn't be hungry, but I'm feeling hungry. Maybe I need a snack. But, like, you guys know.
Yeah. We'll have an interesting dream sequence at the beginning of next.
Oh no.
We got Sator's talking with the homunculus next.
First off,
we only got like 5 more minutes, or I have to go. So.
First off, I assume. Yeah, it's fine. First off, I assume that when he sees Sator in the, he somehow finds his way to the navigator spire, and when he sees Sator already being there, he's disappointed.
He's like, "Oh, well, sir, I have this finger. I guess the orc needs a replacement. Would you like to have the same opportunity?"
I'll give it to you once I have time to go through another bender. Anyways, I assume that you are your mistress and you're here for a reason. You don't seem to be here by your own volition.
The choker, he's like points at it.
Is it
as I said to to the Trueborn, I deserved it, and it was worth it.
Worth.
Yeah. Also, right now, out of character, I'm remembering that fucking the renegade guy from the Emperor's Children.
Yeah, he's kind of Lucy Fabius-y.
Yeah, I want to say that he like betrayed the homunculus, and they made it so that he could never speak of their secrets again.
Oh.
Somehow, when he clones himself. So when he says that he cannot speak about speak about what he did, he really does mean he cannot speak about what he did.
Yeah, whenever you ask him about it, he like points to the choker and he says, "I can't speak."
Makes sense. Anyways, you will be helping me in learning of your techniques, if you will. And I have a few of my own secrets to grant you. If you,
Well, you can watch me while I work if you wish. Although I doubt you will be able to understand the peculiarities of the flesh as I or my kin. He's basically saying you're too stupid to learn this technique.
Yeah. Could I try to do like a scholarship flex? Scholarship flex. Fucking hell! I want to say scholarship test to try to flex on him.
Flex.
I would say yes, but his scholar is probably double yours or more.
Yeah. Or
yeah.
To Sator saying something which is like he wouldn't expect a normal human to know or to understand at all.
Yeah, like you could come up with some really obscure fact and he'll just like giggle.
Or just explaining, trying to take his own idea on how, like cruelty and how it works and all of that.
There's a invigoration of the soul.
Oh, I know. I've already seen it with Ira.
Is there any particular thing you want from him?
Right. Currently, his Sator will just be looking over him with him creating a. The only thing will be, say Gizmek already gave him a piece of his flesh, so time to create a Gizmek too.
And and you give him like a workspace. Some Escher women are mad about being kicked out of their space for this weird melty man.
He's probably being given his own fucking
work set.
He's work set, but his own room, which is fucking soundproof. Not for the Eschers, but for himself, so that he can work in peace.
Yeah, so like they used to be able to work in there, but now it's just for him, and he's like,
Sator
runs his fingers together and goes, "Oh, I can make this place something wonderful."
Yeah. Sator will try to repay the Eschers, but taking away some space from them by giving them like more stuff in general.
More drugs.
Exactly, more drugs. They always fix the problems. From my experience, trust me, guys.
God.
Don't do drugs.
Okay, so that'll be the final scene between Sator and Houndar.
The only thing would be maybe
as he gets to work.
Yeah, the only thing would be maybe doing a scholarship test to see how much Sator picks up from him, but yeah.
Another time.
Like it'll be beyond his reach, I believe. Like you see, even if you like watch him work and see him do the things he does, like some of the things he does doesn't make literally any sense. It's like watching an orc work in a way.
At the same
it's like
time,
so far beyond you.
Yeah. At the same time, it might become a bit. He might be able to understand it once we, get to tier 3 and I pick up biomancy. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. We're done.
Yeah.
We're done. See you guys. Have a good one.
Finished. Bye bye.